Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, hello. This is Delvin in Deep. I'm Uncommon, and joining me today, as always, is Shazam Proof. Say hello, Tom.
Hi.
I don't even know how to properly cue that because we're not near each other, so I can't point to you and be like, and with me is, and just wait. You get most of the pauses, but
Yeah, no, I was too distracted by that virtual mixer that was on your computer screen that you only know how to do 3 of the 120 buttons on it.
This virtual mixer is fantastic. And if I was sponsored, this would be an absolutely great moment. Hello, Game Jockey. Yeah, Game Jockey has helped us build this world so much. It's great to have him here.
There's even a cassette tape.
So what I can do is this is just a visual, but I could record my own audio and play it back, right? So I could be like, I could do that. I could be like, you ever a radio show, right? And be like, Bazinga, and then just make a joke and be like, Bazinga. That's great. Hey Tom, what'd you think of that joke?
No.
Bazinga. Haha.
No. I don't like this.
You tell me I don't.
This is the worst question I've ever asked and got an answer for. This is terrible.
This is you. You like, oh, he doesn't know what the buttons do. But you know what, Tom? You know what? I do. Bazinga! Ha. Can you hear it when I do it? Because I can hear it.
Yeah. I can hear it like music coming from your speakers. Most enjoyable noise in the world.
Oh man, all right, yeah, that's right. I need to do that.
Don't sell yourself short, Game Jockey. How dare you?
Don't. So I'm excited. And I'll tell you why.
Game Jockey, I take that back. You did very little. Don't encourage Casey.
I'm gonna tell you. I got in my car after the torture that's CrossFit, and I had a phone call from my boss, and he called to tell me that my packet for Instructor of the Year had made it all the way to Cadet Command, and I was selected for Cadet Command's Instructor of the Year. I know it has almost nothing to do with the stream, but that feels pretty good.
I had no idea.
I didn't tell you.
That's amazing.
Oh man, it's so good. Bazinga! Aha! Bazinga. Got him.
This is worse than the hard mode joke.
Do all of that all the time.
Bazinga?
Bazinga!
No, you missed a real opportunity. It should be Bazinga.
We can re-record this. Let's see. We're like, Bazinga? Bazinga? All right. Oh man. So today we promised you. You know what? Before we do this, let me pull up the dashboard again, because I am a little too reliant on Streamlabs to tell me what's going on. Pull up that dashboard. Got me some decent music. I'm loving it, and we aren't, as far as I can tell, everybody can see us, and we're not freaking the fuck out. Okay, awesome. So, last time, episode 5, we got a lot done, and you said it perfectly, Tom, at the end of the episode. You said, at the beginning, I'm not sure if we're going to get anywhere. And then we find a rhythm. We find ourselves somewhere to go, and we dig in. So, why don't you, because I've been monologuing a lot, why don't you talk us through the storyline so far?
Oh, man, I got to switch gears. I didn't think that was what was going to come out of your mouth. So, storyline so far. We got, last week we did a timeline. No.
Please continue, I'm sorry. That'll only happen a couple more times.
God damn it. Last time, we created a little bit of timeline. Mm-hmm. We took the word pizza pie and made it into a world title, or a universe title. And that happened. That was interesting. That was way too much of the stream, so if you missed last week, don't go back to it. And then we sort of created a timeline of exactly what happened, how there was an older world that the gods were working at, and then something happened in that world, something to do with arcane magic that killed all of the subjects, or they essentially failed their test. And with that, 3 of the 9 gods that were sort of working together died. And then they were moved to the other side of the world, and they essentially started the trial again, because these parent gods, or these teacher gods, have worlds that need gods, and this is, sort of their training. So it's not like it's not like a get an A on this test. There's objectives, and they're not sure what the objectives were. They thought they were on the right path last time, and then it all went horribly wrong. And so the 6 gods were recycled, so there's a little bit of history there, but there was also some new gods introduced into the mix. So there is a little bit of new and old sort of going on. And so we sort of decided about now I don't know exactly the specific details, but about sort of like the arcane sort of hindrance field, or whatever the heck we're calling it.
Sure.
And sort of just like the basic storylines of, John, conflicts, how, what was it, Robad? Yeah, Robad, how, sort of just very minutely, coming into the story. And we sort of capitalized off of, we sort of just kind of out of the blue, which is, sometimes that's where the best stuff comes up with, or where you come up with it, is sort of the starting point, or I guess maybe the starting of the story is where Fortic, the god who's essentially a knowledge, based god, solves it, and he is immediately plucked from the world for the parent gods to do whatever they need him to do.
Yeah.
And now that sort of creates a power vacuum, and sort of that's the story that we're sort of working with here. Of course, that's thousands upon thousands of years of detail that we'll need to figure out, but that's our guideline.
Okay. Now, you mentioned something before we started that I want to dive into, actually. Mm-hmm. And I'm not much prepared to do this swiftly, so we're going to talk a little bit as I take our third draft deity names. I'm going to copy this table over here. I'm going to go to BTS sketch. I'm going to delete
BTS sketch. Yeah.
Delete our current sketch. Whatever that was something.
Oh man, that was. I think Casey was teaching me a lesson.
I think I was. But you see what I'm doing is I'm going to copy paste all the names of the gods.
From the instructor of the year lesson.
Fucking yes. Excuse my language.
Bazinga.
What? Bazinga? It even has the rock music behind it that was playing during the moment I recorded it. So I could record you as well.
Great.
And then you see things like that. I could just be saying over and over. Like, I'm Tom and I approve this message or this purchase.
You will never get me to say that thing.
All right, so we want to know who likes who and who doesn't like who.
Are we creating a web?
I think a web is a beautiful idea, Tom. Great idea. Okay. I don't want the circles to be this big. Oh, gosh. Color and thickness. Medium thickness. Circle.
That's medium thick?
Well, I mean...
I'm in trouble.
What up? Aw. 6 foot 4 inches. Bazinga?
God damn it.
Stop laughing at bad jokes, Tom. You're encouraging him.
It's all Game Jockey's fault.
It's nothing. That man is... I was telling you, he provided beautiful storytelling for me. That was his sister I was telling you about in the D&D game.
Really?
Yeah. We were talking about last night's D&D game before we got kicked off, and, we won't spend, an episode talking about that, but, yeah, he provided the backstory for that, labor of love that was last night's shit show. All right, so we have circles. And
We're both fixing them. It's not.
that's fine. You go and fix them. I'm gonna retype Loros over here. So I keep mixing up who's who because I'm not as familiar with these as I should be yet.
We'll get there.
We will, and I think it's just repetition. Because I think we do. We don't spend that much time between episodes.
No, I mean not too much.
But
I
we
mean,
don't need
just,
to yet.
Coming up with stuff to talk about on the show.
Right.
Like that's how much time at work I'll spend. If my boss is watching this, I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry because it's mostly during lunch.
I'm still crying. Good. I'm glad I can evoke emotion. I've never had a game where the entire party split up and everybody loved it. So I'll take it. But that'll teach me to insert drama. Okay. So, for the most part, this would be like lines, right? So red lines are bad. So we know that like
green lines good, yellow lines neutral.
I mean, I think that's a start. Like
Yeah.
so we know that Loros and Ektune are just
Bad.
like fucking. There you go. We got a bad line here for you, and that's way too thick.
That's so thick.
We can't continue with this thickness for the entirety of this.
No,
and it's gonna go both ways.
And exhausted, and we'll have to go to sleep
because it's too thick. Bazinga!
I hate how you can get to that button so quickly.
Thank you for making it a question, Tom. All right. So there we go.
Help the bad jokes I hate.
You're a beautiful person, Tom. Bazinga?
What?
What?
I don't know whether to be offended or not.
All right, so that's easy.
Yes.
Robad
hates both of them.
Absolutely, I'm down. And why? So we can repetitively say this over and over.
Because he's caught in the middle of the conflicts of the bigger giants of Ektune and Loros, and he wants power and he can't get it. He's getting trampled on like that little brother who wants to also play the video game, but his brother's like, yeah, you can play, and then he just punches him instead. I'm
going to say that. Oh God. I want to say that they don't feel the same way because they're just like, who?
Yeah, that true. Yeah.
Neutral? Oh, God. That is not a good neutral color. We need a better neutral color. Blue? Black.
Oh, I see what you're doing. The arrows are pointing the direction on which they feel.
Yes.
Look at that. That is some... Man, if you were an instructor in real life and I had the ability to give you an award, I think I would.
Man, thank you, Tom. Thank you. It's a major award. Not quite the lamppost, leg thing from the Christmas Story, but it's a major award.
Oh. Is it? Do you think it will get mentioned on the pylon?
Nope, no pizza involved here. It'll be one of those like trivia facts when I'm famous. It'll be like, did you know he was once a fantastic instructor? And somebody will be like, what the fuck happened? He had such potential. He was going places. Bazinga? Game Jockey says...
Shazam made a stupid joke about a cassette tape and he regretted it the rest of his life. What?
I was saying, so Game Jockey says, wouldn't Ektune hate Krolom because freedom and conquest don't work well together? So let's think about that. So individuals, yeah. I want to go with individuals rather than just concepts, but
right.
Think about the relationship.
Right, and so they aren't like those, it's almost like on a political spectrum, you have a linear political spectrum, where you're Democrat, at least in the United States, Democrat or Republican, whereas, that's just a line of a plethora of details. I think those terms are like just easy things to stick on them, but these relationships they're, way bigger than the term.
Because maybe freedom, in this case, maybe Krolom has been supplying them with war supplies.
Right.
Like both of them equally, like, meh.
Yeah. I mean, they got their merchants.
If this gets too complicated,
they control the land bridge between the two masses.
I could see either way, because I think that Ectoon wants that relationship. But does eventually, if Ectoon gets his way, do all his siblings die?
Or just surrender to
him. That's an interesting thought. I'm going to propose that we take out black actually as a color, and just if there's nothing there, we assume it's neutral, because this is going to get a lot more complex.
Okay.
So let's Tom, while I do this, while I do lines, can you do text? So like you can explain down here why some things are the way they are. So like I would say, Robad dislikes Loros and Ectoon because they're trampling on his what is he exactly? On his quest for power in their own struggle. Period. Loros and Ectoon don't even consider him worth their emotional consideration.
Okay, so we're just going to go paragraph form like that.
I mean, for anything we do to explain, yes, I think that's a way to go. And we could just bullet form. Oh, nope, not that.
Bullet form.
Bullet form.
That's one bullet? Oh, I just did something.
I think, we could explain each individual line if we'd like, but, whatever makes sense. Yeah, sure, claim that as your own text.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me put it in a whole bunch of different boxes so that Casey and his good teacher ego is intact.
Bazinga? Content in a button, ladies and gentlemen. Content in a button. Cool. All right. So
we just did the easiest one.
We did.
Things get hard.
So, and we are inventing these. There are other easy ones. There are. So, Sanilis, right? She's growing the wood line. She's encroaching on all territories. But does she hate anything, or is she just creating, and the creations are getting out of control? And she's like, I'm sorry, but they're creatures. What are you gonna do?
So she's next to Fortic, Kurlome, and Danny.
Inlo and Danny.
Oh yeah, it's Inlo. Well, if we're doing the actual history, so I don't know if because we spoke about last time Fortic essentially having a using his military resources to keep the forest back.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how offensive, because I'm assuming Krolome would be doing something of the same to keep their, his land bridge, because that's probably, his most political asset, keeping it from getting overgrown.
Well,
I'm almost like here when it comes to Danny. I don't know, cause I wouldn't picture Danny's realm to be overgrown. So I don't know if his land is just so alcoholic that things don't grow there.
Well, let's take a look at the locations. That's good. Yeah, he does have some territory that's bordering it. You know what? I want to say that I think Danny likes it because it adds like a tropical paradise feel to it, right? So he's got a resort. So I don't think he gets in the way. He might be like, this is where big game hunting happens, on the edge of the border. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Danny has beef with anybody, but we'll have to discover that.
At least not yet.
Okay, so you can go and type that out for us, and I'll draw our line. Danny's like, fuck yeah, give me that beautiful jungle.
So does Sanilis hate anybody? No? Is that what we're going with?
So Sanilis is Cadet good. Fortic is neutral good. and lawful good is Loris on the other side. So I don't think Fortic and Sandus necessarily hate each other. So let's get my... Okay,
wait,
so,
is Fortic... Fortic's neutral good. I was just going like, if I was a good player, I would hate the chaotic good. Like, I'd be like, you're just doing it wrong.
Well, okay, let's put ourselves in the mind of Fortic. Fortic has got knowledge and skill. He wants to spread knowledge and skill. He's kind of got a giant library in the desert. And he knows that Santalus's creation might be a threat, like this growth might overpower, but he's also a desert, so maybe not.
Wait, is Fortic a desert?
I had pictured it in my mind to be a desert.
Oh, I pictured it in my mind to be like a cold mountainy area.
I'm good with either. So, I mean, either Cold Mountainy works. Let's do Cold Mountainy. It's not much of a threat. I don't think the growth is much of a threat there.
So is it just too cold? Does it get to a point where it's too cold and the growing stops?
I think so. I like that.
Okay.
I like that idea. So So we have neutral emotions at the moment. Yeah, go ahead and do your typing. Oh, this is good. We are on a good path here with relationships. So I'm gonna talk out loud. Yeah, doesn't hate any but one. They're too self-centered, too self-involved in their own passions. Krolome, if you look at the map, they are centrally located. They're trying to trade with people, freedom and exploring the seas. They'd be wary of Ektun and Alros, because both of them two sides of the same coin. I don't know if dislike is enough yet. There's no war. I think he's appeasing. I think at this point he's just, I'm gonna be valuable enough that they leave me and my land alone. I'm gonna be a merchant. I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna keep my freedom through politics, right? There's just Sweden. Nobody's trying to fuck with Sweden because America and Russia are already pissing each other off. But on that thought, he's gonna have to be more wary of Ektun. Or maybe Kyotes.
Well, Kyotes is.
What did I say about Kyotes?
The map's not updated.
No. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Kyotes is.
That's Robad.
Robad. Krolome is hard. It's very hard for me to.
Right, and because I don't like. I also like because a lot of people's emotions towards each other are based on history. So like just because two people's values are the same, if Tim fucked John's wife, even if John and Tim are, think the same, do the same, and hate the same people, he's still not gonna like Tim.
Right. Wait. Okay.
So like, just because two people's morals line up doesn't mean that they necessarily have to get along.
Yeah. Hey, Patchwork. Love it, buddy.
It's hard.
He's hard. Bazinga?
God, no.
You smile at it, so it must be hilarious. Okay. All right. So he's tough. John's tough. You know what? I would say John probably doesn't approve of the Minimo.
John does not. Yeah. I would say if there's one.
Go ahead.
And he might.
I mean, but not approve is not the same as like hate. Like John doesn't seem simple enough to hate anyone here. I'm definitely totally tough. All right, let me come at this from another person's angle while you type Inlo. Inlo.
Inlo. I would say Inlo pretty much does not like
anyone.
A lot. Like if anything, like I could see like maybe like an interesting relationship between Fortic and Inlo.
Yeah.
As like, but like not like in the same way. That one being like there's history there.
Like a green line?
I don't know what that means.
Green line means a good relationship between Inlo.
Oh! I thought you were making like a reference. What the heck? A reference to like I don't know something that old people know about.
So real quick. Patchwork John So in this world where the gods have taken domain on the world and they're taking positions and ruling in power, John has decided to take another path. Whatever his name was before, he took a more simple human name and has been living among the humans, trying to find self-awareness and understanding in himself. Self-reflecting God, just farming the land and living a normal life, although a mortal life, an immortal life. He's trying that route, and that's kind of the concept for John. John in the chat says, "Oh, that reminds me. Did you guys see the extra credits video about world building? Holy shit, I didn't. That sounds like homework. Good homework for us." Okay, so
what's extra credits?
Extra credits is a animated, almost an animated podcast that covers a lot of video game related topics, and they're really great, really well done videos.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So are we suing them for stealing our idea?
Totally. Yep. That'll totally work.
Mm-hmm.
At a minimum, people will watch our videos to come spew hate and vitriol at us for attacking a very popular icon. Strategy. Okay, Domino, Semis, Fortic, and Inlo. So Fortic and Inlo share a quest for knowledge. I imagine this is a group. Okay, so Dragonlance, right? Dragonlance was a setting where I don't know if this is the right story to make the point. Okay, so Dragonlance was a setting. Rassilin Majir was this mage, and he was like every nerd's fucking wet dream, right? Everybody who's ever been picked on, they connect with this character because he was small, scrawny, pathetic. His brother, on the other hand, was this big, muscular, handsome guy. But Rassilin found magic, and it's something he was good at. Although he further sacrificed his body's health for greater magic. Well, there's a point in the story where he dons the black robes, and that's a sign of switching to the evil side, right? Dark side, if you are. But there's this other character in the book. He's a god who lives on Earth, or lives on the planet, and his whole thing is recording. He records history. And so we have this dark, evil, powerful wizard he's kind of a mainstay and main character in the story. And then we have this just completely neutral god who he spends his entire day writing in a book, recording history as it happens to fill this great library. But he makes time out of his day a couple times, like I want to say twice, to kind of mediate a conversation between this evil mage and this like holy priestess. But the conversations between this dark wizard and this neutral god, they're one of like shared intellectual curiosity kind of thing. Like they're gonna get together, they're gonna have a cup of tea. Inlo and Fortic, they're gonna talk about some things. It's uneasy because one of you is obviously neutral evil and one of you is obviously neutral good. But probably like a respect and understanding. They tread that ground carefully. I think there's a mutual respect, intellectual mutual respect. So Patchwork Coincidence, I just wrote the rough draft of paper about world building, or rather an essay or a short story I tied to authors making worlds which do not contain the same social and must be limitations as our own. I would love to see that. Absolutely love to see that. Now, Patchwork, and a quick question: Are you coming from a Discord I posted this on? Are you somebody I know and don't recognize the name of? Or am I fortunate enough to have brought in an outsider? An outsider? That's not fair. You're an insider. You're in. Sounded so mean. To meet new people. I love meeting new people. Got to meet new friends. It's for a writing class. Yeah, I mean, if you want to post it, I'd love to read it. But if no big deal otherwise, because it's on topic. Like, I'm gonna watch this link for later. Thank you, John, for that. So he said Fortic and Inlo have an intellectual relationship. Fortic is the only reason Inlo would leave the other. Well, it was the only reason Inlo would. Okay,
so
would leave his layer.
I can't write and listen at the same time. I will just write what I'm hearing, and so that's supposed to be layer.
Lie. Yep. Nope. I'm down. I get it. I like it. Inlo doesn't leave his lair. Inlo's the mega dungeon. He's got it.
Dragon on the first level.
Dragon on the first level because fuck trying to power up the party to come kill you. Many adventurers have probably died at the first level.
He dumped it out.
Dumped it out in 2 hours. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I've done that to many papers. Okay. We've made a step. We've taken a step. Krolome and John are difficult, but I mean, they're both kind of this neutral.
Well, John thinks is wasting his life.
What'd you do?
What'd I do? What?
Oh, okay. So things aren't showing up for me. I thought everything just disappeared. Like, evil. Oh,
I deleted everything.
Wait, Moros. Oh, you know what we did accidentally?
What did we do?
Oh, we didn't do it accidentally. I actually have it listed in that order. But if we were to write like good, right? If we were to write the word good, and we were to bold it and make it bigger and rotate it. Can I rotate it? I just want to rotate it. Anyway, what I'm saying is, if this is the good 3.
Mm-hmm.
These are the neutral 3, and I did. This is not an accident. We had the, and these are the evil 3. It's not. I was like, oh man, look what we accidentally did, but no, actually wrote them in that order on the sheet. But that. In fact, I think it was lawful, neutral, chaotic, lawful, neutral, chaotic, lawful, neutral, chaotic, all the way around. So, all right, so, lawful, neutral, chaotic. I'm gonna start doing this so I like recognize these characters a little better over time. Like looking at them in this like graph format, you gotta visualize. I'm a visual guy. I gotta make these connections. Okay, so John thinks Domino. So but wouldn't John think everybody's wasting all of their lives because he thinks he's got the right answer, or is he? If he's that full of himself, he's not doing this self-awareness thing very well.
I think out of everybody, he can acknowledge at least everybody else's attempt, but like to me, like there's like a test going on, and all the students are taking their test. Ooh. And Dan Minimo is just like staring at the ceiling. He's just like, I don't have time for, or he doesn't even show up for class. Like he's like in the school building, smoking in the boys' room. Like that's like he's
that's funny.
Like that's why he maybe doesn't think that other people all these people think they have the right answer, but at least they're going for an answer where Danny probably isn't.
How about this one? And Patchwork brings up a good point. Robad just can't understand John. To lower oneself is not just shameful in his eyes. He literally is unable to understand why one would do what he's doing. So I think we have like Robad who does desire power, and John is just being simple. I think he looks down. I like that. I think he hates the idea of John.
So Patchwork, the best part about writing and doing a writing class is if you just get somebody else to do your writing forward. Oh, God dang it, I forget that it does that. For you? Every time I
Bazinga?
get fooled. Bad. You just go like this and steal. And
steal people's great ideas. I mean, come on, collaborative.
That's all plagiarism is, folks. Collaboration.
Okay, I like it.
Your royalty check will be in the mail, Patrick.
Don't say that. We're not making any money. Analyzing fiction, not writing fiction like I first thought it was. All right, so let's see. Taking a look at, we're in a good place. Do we have any other important relationships we want to talk about? Some of these we haven't got to yet. We can always come back to.
Krolome might see an opportunity in Robad.
Okay. But how does he feel about it? Because that's where we're at. This is the feeling.
I'm working on. Yeah, I was working on that thought midway, and I didn't get.
You didn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think there is a lot of neutral feelings and like advantages here. Robad is just a hateful character. Is anybody Robad likes? Danimo? Dominimo? Dominimo?
Maybe he likes Inlo.
Um,
Um, who else would he like?
so he's in the quest for desire and power, and I don't know if he likes anybody. He might just be a hateful person.
I mean,
maybe Dominimo. Maybe he likes Dominimo's resort. We're talking about history, like, desire and power, and Dominimo's resort gives it to him. I was like,
bring me a water. Oh, she actually did it. This is the first person who's ever listened to me. Thank you.
Yeah, right. I have so much power and cocktails. All right. Yep. Nope. I'm down with you, John. Neutral one is never the one who tries to stop him. That being said, neutral at least. Oh no, it's the wrong color. Neutral at least in D&D has always been this. They side with good more often than not because it's in their best interest, right? You're gonna side with, the people who are out to protect you rather than the demon lord who's trying to enslave and murder you. But not particularly because, you agree with the principles of good, but because, again, they're not trying to murder you. Carlome respects John, seeing his attempt at self-reflection and humbling himself as freeing through the limitations of godhood. I'll take it. I like it. I think we're stealing one more from Patchwork right here. Putting my little green arrow down. Red likes. Okay, I like it. Danny's Resort. Dominimo. It's not Danny. Only his friends call him Danny.
Daenerys Targaryen. She's the breaker of chains, and people still call her Danny.
Who does that?
Everybody.
You mean people who watch the show?
People who cheered on when she had sexual intercourse with her nephew.
I'm glad that we can talk about that stuff now and I get the references. I feel like you either never made Game of Thrones references until I watched the show, or you did and I just flew over my head. And now that I've seen it.
I definitely have. So.
True neutral in D&D, if I recall, is supposed to be about balance. It depends. True neutral in D&D.
Because the characters are usually fighting the evil. So you have, if you look at the scales, you have the evil, and then you have the neutral, the good, and the players on the one side to even it out. Because if the evil was like, I am an evil goblin, and then you have angels coming down and shooting the goblins, there's no why are the players?
Sorry, John, that was a spoiler. So real quick, there are 9 alignments in D&D, and they do their best at capturing the 3-dimensional personalities that are people. True neutral, if you were all about balance, you might be true neutral, but not all true neutral is about balance. Yeah. They could just be, I don't give a fuck. That's absolutely true.
And you'll need to know a lot to get that reference, so I usually would feel bad, but I'm not too feeling baddy.
Mm-hmm. Aegon Targaryen. All right, so the feelings chart. I love this name. I'm feeling particularly enlightened today. I listened to at least 4 podcasts with topics I didn't agree with. It was fantastic. All right. I'm good. I'm good here. I think we go back to the history for a bit, and we flesh out some of this a little. We flesh out the
Are you sure? Because we have Santalus doesn't care about anyone. Fortic doesn't care about anybody.
So we can say we can type it down here that Santalus.
Oh wait, no, Laura's Fortic likes
self. Oh wait, I see. You already wrote that. Fortic and Inlo have a. So yeah, we write that they have a relationship, intellectual.
Oh wait, no, we didn't. We didn't do the John doesn't like de minimo.
Is that one we like?
I mean,
I don't know if John. I don't know if John is a judgmental person. I think he's down to earth.
Okay, if there's a down to earth person, I don't to me, down to earth doesn't mean you have to love everybody.
No, I think he's on his own personal journey. I think he admits he doesn't have the answers, and by judging Dominimo for his path,
I just don't want to make John just the biggest wuss. That's I'm just
okay. I like it. All right, good fucking answer. Fucking got it. I'm down. I'm down. John's not a wuss. He has some passion. Dominimo has little love for Loros, and the sentiment is mutual. Spiritual experiences and physical pleasures are not antithetical, but so often go to extremes.
Can also follow the other true neutral idea, which is welcome to Shazam and Uncommon Read Twitch chat.
Hey,
we should change. We should just change this to just chatting, so that way we're not banned.
Just chat. No, it's Dungeons and Dragons.
Well,
Come on now.
Danny and Forte. Okay.
I'm gonna go one idea at a time. I like the idea of a little love for Loros, but I like it in the reverse maybe more. But is spirituality? So Loros is. This isn't like Christian morals, right? Loros wants people to worship and love him or her.
Right, because that's like the original thinking behind that is like that's where Loros' power is coming from, is their ability to have all these people worship them makes them stronger. It's not like, and that's where they think that they're doing the best and how they need to sort of, prove themselves or pass the test or whatever you call it.
But this is a good place. Mm-hmm. But this is a good place to ask: does Loros have, standard morals that we come to associate ourselves with? Is this something that, is this the Crusades? Is this the Crusades versus Ectune, right? So,
true.
Your people are living wrong.
Well, like I don't think it'd be as far as like, oh, you guys don't have a god and you are cannibals. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Come on in.
Right.
There's especially being lawful good. There's got to be something there, right? There's got to be a code. There's got to be commandments. There's got to be, you follow these things. I lead you on a better life. Because that was also one of the other things, is that Loros was very much a, I don't know the best way to put it, but like a wish-fulfilling god. Like he's there on the forefront. Like there's a village that's flooding. He's there, with his metaphorical buckets taking, the water out. He's, there's a famine. He's doing what he can to boost the crops. He's, and that's where he sort of gets his, followers from. I like
Loris being annoyed with Dominimo, but is it a red line?
I wouldn't. Well, that's why I originally had the scale of 1 to 10. Like, I think that would just be in between.
In between the red and the green.
It's one of those things. It's like an annoying little sister. Like, stop, just stop. I stop. Because I guess in a way that like maybe Dominimo is one of like the few people who can really, successfully, when it comes to combating people's, faiths, steal people away, because people will be giving into the, the cruxes of life, the drinking, the drugs, the partying that Dominimo accepts as, being normal, whereas maybe, and with Loros, you gotta work for it. Like, Loros will help, like, if your farm, if a locust plague kills your farm, you had to, he will help you, but at the same time, you had to make the farm. Like, there was work involved there, whereas Dominimo was like, screw it. Let's turn water into wine and wine into double wine. Let's go.
I'm giving that a black line because it's what we should be noted, but it's a relationship, but not a red or green.
Okay. So
you gotta write it. We gotta write about it. Well, black line now has a meaning rather than a I don't care about you.
Oh, true. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Okay, yeah, I'll leave you to write that. I'll read Game Jockey's thing. Krolom could also follow the other true neutral idea, which is he wants to be left alone. He could just hate everyone, but Danny feels... but Danny, because he feels they are forcing their ideals on him. Danny Fortek. Yeah, and I see what you're saying when you say forget everything I said. But only because Krolom is freedom. So I'm not sure. Left alone in freedom. Left alone in freedom. So Krolom is explorer, he's freedom, he's merchant. I don't think he wants to be left alone. I think he does want to intermix. But he does want to be, he does not want his freedoms encroached upon. And we think he's got a relationship with everybody because he's useful. But he's going to be wary of a couple people. He's going to be wary of the Robads and the Ektuns and the Loroses, right? Because of their, desire for conquest and power. So I want to put a black line, 3 black lines. Oh, not that. 3 black arrows to these characters. With that idea that he understands what they're about and doesn't want any of it. Ektun. And I'm going to link them together kind of in the same starting place to signify that connection. See if I can get
what are they called? They're not like called crutches, vices.
All right, we're learning.
Man, that is zoomed in, folks.
Yeah, I had to line it up. So this connection with Krolom. Did you get what I just said?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay. He's okay. So we're gonna go with Krolom is wary of the potential freedom encroaching nature of Loros, Robad, and Ektun.
Okay. He could act like he could hate Enlo for the reason of Enlo being able to keep on going inside sort of his domain and killing mages. Or killing.
Yeah, that's right. We haven't talked about Enlo's behavior because Enlo is the mage slayer.
Right. And so he doesn't agree with,
Let's look back.
And he's also annoyed that he can't stop it.
Loros, Ektun, Robat, and Enlo are the mage slayers.
And who are three new gods?
Oh, it's all of those. So yeah, let's draw that line. Let's draw that same line. It's that same line because Enlo's on that list. Mm-hmm. He's part of that 3, which means those 3 have a relationship of anti-magic. Even if Loros and Ektun are fighting, even if Robad doesn't like them, there is a third relationship there.
Yeah. Which it may not deserve a red line, but I also think that out of the 4 of them, Enlo is by far the most aggressive about it.
Yes, I think he led the way. He led the charge. He's holding it together.
He's not gonna. And we're comfortable with the 4 of them being strong enough combined to sort of
have an impact. I think that's something we have to talk about. Later.
Okay. Was Fortik a part of that group?
No, Fortik was not.
Should he be?
I don't necessarily believe so. I think that's part of the uneasy relationship and disagreement between Enlo and Fortik. I think Fortik wants to share knowledge. He doesn't want to restrict it.
Right, but he doesn't want to share knowledge, because there's also, to me, because if we go with the stories that there was something happened that was, what is it called? Magic? What kind of magic is it?
Arcane.
It's different. Arcane magic that undid a lot of Fortik's work. So he was gathering all of this knowledge. It's like the burning of the Great Library. Oh my God.
What's that?
Alexandria. That's where it was, right? Yeah. and essentially where that happened. So that's why he could and it's not necessarily something that he's 100% on board with, but he's also he does it because he feels like it could help him get to the answer. And then with one of them gone, who's holding sort of that pact to keep all the arcane magic out, it's not like it completely goes away, but all of a sudden it starts to like shimmer and shake a little bit, because now there's more stress on the rest of them to keep sort of this arcane bubble or whatever it is.
I guess I like the thought too much of part of being attached, though, Inlo and Fortic having core disagreements on the fundamentals of this world. And I think one of the fundamental things of this world is going to be that outlawing of arcane magic.
Okay.
I think that's such a big thing, that we write it in that, the freedom of information. Fortic would be the inventor of the internet. Like he understands that, by creating the internet, he's going to create, weebs.
So then,
but it's important.
So what's the difference between Fortic and Krulon?
One is all about the freedom of exploration, land, individuality, but one is about information and knowledge, sharing that information and knowledge.
And so then those things that Krulon are more about, how do I ask this? How does Fortic sort of restrict those, right? Because if he's trying to, because I think we've had this conversation before,
okay.
Where Fortic was all about spreading knowledge, but he wasn't all of a sudden going to hand knowledge over to Ekton.
Right.
And so he did share but it was like within his own, like his world was almost like the university. Well, I guess no, but university's right.
Library.
So where it's all the information is there, but it's not like he has a library where they follow you around, and if you can like potentially read the book, but you can't take it out.
There might be restricted sections. Like a lot of information is probably free. A lot of information people want is probably free. I could see a restricted section where they follow that. You might be able to grant it access if you are a follower of a certain path, or you're a friend of Fortic, or get a special privileges, or maybe levels of restricted access, right? Like 18 restricted libraries, and you're given access to each one maybe individually. But I still think greater knowledge, like the spreading of knowledge, is probably the greater bit there. So in relationship to Fortic doesn't dislike anybody right now.
Right.
He doesn't necessarily need to.
Right. But he's going to be the most interesting to develop, because when we're actually doing this thing, he's not around.
Well, he's in his library.
No,
or in his lab.
That's what we said.
Right.
That would be the catalyst. So, because where we have these three other distant gods that they are part of the story, definitely. Who was in? Oh, John was. Whereas they're sort of more out of the picture, but Fortic's really the one where everybody's going to know about him, everything like that. And so I think he's definitely the most interesting one of the bunch.
Right. To answer Game Jockey's question, Game Jockey says, Candle Keep in D&D, why not that for Fortic? You have to provide information in order to access the most restricted areas. And without putting that down specifically, I'd say that people who provide value to Fortic gain his trust and therefore access. Like friendship with Fortic has its benefits, which is probably Inlo's.
Yeah, and I would say there's very few people outside of his empire that I would say if you are those people, you're with Fortic.
Right.
Right. I don't like with like, of course there's exceptions to that, but there's not going to be like common people running around everywhere that would, be super smart. Like they're
Right. I can see it. I could see Robad, like, not Robad, I could see, like, Ectoon visiting Fortic for, like, siege weaponry technology, right? Something simple.
but
And,
why would Fortic give that to him?
well, I was going to say that.
Oh, okay.
I was getting there. But Fortic withholding that because that doesn't promote the growth of knowledge, it in fact would destroy knowledge.
Right, which he is extremely against because he's pissed off because he's already had to do a lot of this once, and it all got destroyed.
He's probably writing a bunch. He's probably rewriting a bunch of his knowledge down.
Right.
Probably first couple 100 years of just rewriting his own library and resetting, which has, I imagine, its own pleasure to it, but it's own monk-like. Okay. So we got the Arcane Magic Prohibition labeled. I like that label added into there. Man, are we just like a whole episode and it was a relationship chart? This stuff is, I'm going to rename this to not sketch, but like, this gets its own page now. I mean, we're closing near the end of the episode, our normal length. What else rounds this out? I mean, this looks good. I like it. I don't think everybody has to have a personal connection with everybody else. There's a lot of wary.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And especially, I mean, like with Santalis, I'm definitely comfortable with it because Santalis is one of the newbies, right?
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden they're there and they're doing their own thing potentially, or they haven't. I mean, well, I guess it's been a long time. It's not like they got there on Tuesday and then our player characters are coming in. But there's definitely, I don't know if it's like double the history, but like, when it comes to Grolome, Santalis, and Robad, like Loros and Ectoon have had twice as long, 3 times as long, whatever you have you to just develop hatred.
Let's find the new gods. We labeled them somewhere.
It's Santalis, Robad, and Grolome.
Let me get back to the relationship chart. Let me go ahead and hit the draw button. It's who?
Santalis, Robad, and Colome.
Crolome.
Crolome, sorry.
Okay, so now I want to put some kind of like star or something in their symbol. No, that's not that cool. Yeah, I mean, highlights are fine. Let me just highlight names. And then we can label that as, as new. Just draw type. Let's delete. This is called a key, guys. You add them to charts and graphs to help illustrate your points. Key. We're going to go with new. We're going to unbold that and underline that. We're going to highlight it. Nice and yellow. Cool. Probably actually new god. And re-highlight. Actually, we could just... it's funny. I'm doing all this like fake highlighting. I could just use the highlight function rather than all this drawing. Oh god, stop home, not back, not file.
Man, it's somebody's clicking accuracy a little bit down. Hopefully you're practicing that on like a Thursday or Friday.
Unfortunately, and for those who love watching those who are here and also happen to love my StarCraft content, next Thursday and Friday, tomorrow, the next 2 days, I'm working from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and will be unavailable to stream. Which makes me sad. You quitter, you motherfucker.
It's almost
yeah.
Wouldn't wuss out?
What's that?
The number one teacher. Number one teacher wouldn't wuss out.
Number one teacher. It's too bad I don't have like an award or something to prove that. I have the one. I have the one from last year somewhere.
Oh, is that the one you found accidentally?
What do you mean found accidentally?
There was an award you found accidentally.
What do you mean found accidentally? I didn't find anything accidentally.
No, your boss told you to do something, and you found a trophy or whatever with your name on it.
No, this was
That
I have my. Oh, I see what you're talking about. He didn't mean.
Yeah.
He didn't mean to give it to me that early.
He spoiled it for you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No. That. Yeah. I see what you mean. Like.
Is this it?
It's on stream right now. Yeah. This is.
No. Like I pointed at the stream. But that's that trophy.
This is last year's. Yeah.
That was a year ago. That terrifies me.
Haha.
Because that does not feel like that long ago. That story. Holy moly.
Yep, it was. It was exactly a year ago. Well, I got I would have gotten the plaque for it in March or April.
Oh, okay. So that's a little bit.
April. Yeah, definitely April. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a relationship chart. So I'm going to have to change the title of this episode from Creation Story Part 2 to God Relationship Chart.
Okay. So... but what about naming it with a little bit of pizzazz, because I think there was one underlying tone of this episode that maybe not all of us agreed with.
Okay, let's hear it. You have an idea in your head. I don't know where you're going.
I thought you were just going to hit the button again.
Bazinga? That button? That button?
Delving in deep, episode 6. Bazinga?
Bazinga?
Your title's more information.
It is, and I will add Bazinga in there because it's fantastic, and all of you are fantastic. We will, we're gonna keep doing this. We love this, and we're putting the plans together. I talked to my group again last night about how we do this how we turn this into a D&D show later. Now, not this show. We're looking at Tuesdays. We're looking at everybody's best for Tuesdays, and we're trying to toss around the idea between, do I do it in a studio? Do I do it over, Discord and Roll20? I don't know. I will say that the studio is a lot more work, and a lot more setup every time I want to take down and tear up a small D&D studio. But I look forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you're looking forward to it. Tom's looking forward to it.
Oh, okay. The you was not me.
Well, we are. I hope we're looking forward to it.
Are we?
Are we? Bazinga? Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have. Tom, any last words for the fantastic people in chat?
Just remember, if you're ever having relationship troubles, an ex cheats on you, you want to get back with an ex, you're looking for that man, just create a circle of all their friends and draw arrows, and your destiny will become clear.
Bazinga? Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.